Isn't that what we work for? Yeah. Going up to heaven to get my reward. How many of you remember that one? Benny Cunnums right here in the Songbook of Gospel. We bring it to you fresh and first. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome. It's the first full week of a lot of our students that are back in school, and we're continuing to pray for them. And for those of you that are continuing your education, we salute you and hope that you would have a great academic year. Well, it's time now. I wanted to have this brother on because he's been blessing many people, and this is his time and this is his season with his new single that's now available for you. You can download it on different outlets and he'll share that. But I want to welcome my dear brother, the handsome brother himself, who has made a full transition of his life. And I'm telling you folks, you got to hear his story. I want to welcome the one and only Minister Kyle Londell Sanders to the Songbook of Gospel. This is the first time you are on my national show. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Feel Good. How you making out?
Now, you know I'm feeling good because you look good, and I know you feel good after God has done a major transition with you. Am I right about it?
Oh, man, I feel great.
Do me a favor. Say good morning to everybody that can see me but hear your handsome voice from New Jersey. Say good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you.
Absolutely. It was great seeing you, this past weekend with Gary Diggs. And we say good morning to Gary Diggs as well. And the Tri-State Reunion Choir as they celebrated their CD release. It was great to see you, man. And you're looking great. But I want people to understand your life and understand your story. You have a wonderful bio, but I want people to know you do come from good seed. You come from a solid foundation of the gospel. And that's important because that's where you are in your life now. But I want people to understand your journey a little bit, and then we're going to talk about this major change for your health, because when I look at where God has brought you from your photographs, it turns my woe into a wow.
That's all right. I'm gonna have to use that. I'm gonna have to take that.
So tell us about your journey.
Oh man, growing up, yes, I have a solid foundation growing up in my late grandfather's church, the late Reverend Dr. John A. Gaines. He was an icon. He was a pastor to pastors in the city of Trenton. So he laid that firm foundation in the great El Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, and we grew up. We had the best preaching, the best singing, and that's kind of how I took on this venture with this CD. I never wanted to record. Always recorded with many other artists, always done live recordings with them, but I've never wanted to do a recording of myself. And a lot of my audience is the seasoned saints, and my grandparents instilled a lot in me. My parents instilled a lot in me, and so that old traditional gospel music is embedded in me. And so growing up, we had some of the greatest singers, and so a lot of them, they're still living. A lot of them are dying off, but a lot of them said, baby, you ought to get them songs down on CD for me, and so that's kind of how I came about with the song selection that I actually recorded on my CD called Church How I Remember. Growing up, we would hear songs like God Specializes, and my grandma, First Lady Dorothy Mae Gaines, she would sing You Brought Me From a Mighty Long Way.
Yes.
And my grandfather would sing Save a Seat for Me, and I mean, those songs would just, the church would go into frenzies. And growing up at that time, you didn't understand why the folks was going crazy. But as I got older, and you realize and listen to the words of those songs, then you understand, because it's real personal, and I think the oil is still on those seasoned songs.
Absolutely. And we thank God for the ministry that he has placed in you. Now let's talk a little bit about, and we're going to go back to your song. Let's talk a little bit about your health journey, because people need to understand, in order to be effective in the body of Christ, you really need to be healthy. And I mean, you weren't a bad brother, being on the thick side, or I guess the built side. I don't know what word I want to use, but, I know you had to go through a change, and you said, look, I want to have a certain look. I want to feel better about myself in the physical aspect in order to carry out the gospel and the assignment that God has given you. So let's talk about this transition, because I want our listeners and viewers and other gospel singers out there to understand, in order to be healthy, to carry out the gospel, sometimes you got to make some changes. You got to back yourself up from the table. You got to stop doing this and stop doing that to make the transition. Let's talk about this, man, because it's remarkable.
Oh man, it has been a great transformation for me, and I've done several interviews with the hospital that I actually had surgery with, surgery at, and one thing I always tell them, I don't never negate, my call and my religion. I always tell them, my weight was a weight. My weight was a weight, and I could not fully be effective in ministry as far as preaching and singing. I couldn't fully be used with that weight on me. And I was around 28 years old when I started to have some challenges, and it's all in the growing up being a PK, eating well. My grandparents from down south, all that eating. Right. Oh my God, pastor's anniversary, and this anniversary, and the food was just, and my mama could cook.
I know that's
and
right.
then it passed down on me. I could cook, and it just was not healthy for me at age around 28 when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, and it runs heavily, not only in the black community. I mean, it ran heavy on both sides of my family, and so I needed to make a change. And the next result was diabetes. And I said, oh God, I'm only 28 years old.
Right.
I don't need to have that, And so around 29, I started, making some decisions and talking with my wife, and I said, babe, I really think I should have surgery, because I've tried for many years to lose weight, exercising, and doing different things like that. And so I let the surgery be my last result. Wow. I had the bariatric sleeve done, the gastric sleeve. I had that particular procedure done, and it worked out so phenomenal that my surgeon has done. My picture's framed in the hospital. They recently just did a live interview that they're going to post on their website, where I tell my life story. But when I tell you, it was one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. I have more wind in me with preaching, with singing. Right. I'm able to endure more. That actual weight that I was talking about, that weight has lifted off, and I feel like it is so important, because this is your temple. God gives you this body. This is your temple, and you have to take care of it. You only have one.
That's right.
And even when it goes down to the word, we have to present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. And that's just our reasonable service. And we just have to take care of this body. We only get one.
That's right.
And so it's very, very important, very imperative, because you really can't be fully, effective in ministry carrying weight.
You just said it right on the money. And I'm not here to put people down. My show is real. The music is real. It's spiritual and uplifting. But folks, you need to be encouraged that if you are really overweight, you need to diet or change your eating habits, especially for those that are in ministry. Some folks may just want to look the way they do. I'm not saying you're not beautiful, but it's all about making the change to be effective at what you're doing. Can you explain, Minister Kyle, what that procedure was all about? What is that particular surgery all about? Because that was so critical for your life.
It was very, very critical. And I had some challenges along the way. All they did was, it's not as invasive as the gastric bypass.
Okay.
The gastric sleeve is is actually the latest one that they have come up with.
Okay.
Where all they do is they're not rerouting anything, whereas the gastric bypass, they reroute your intestines.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with that. All they're doing is taking 2/3 of your stomach out.
Wow.
Which leaves you with a portion of your stomach left, and then they sew it up, and so you're just not able to take in as much as you used to.
Right.
Which is a little more safe, as far as rerouting different. But don't get me wrong. Some people do good by the gastric bypass. Your doctor has to lead and guide you in which procedure needs to be done.
Okay.
I just chose. I could have chosen the gastric bypass,
Right.
but I didn't. I chose the gastric sleeve because it seemed a little bit more safe.
Right.
And it worked out so awesome in my benefit. It worked out tremendously, and even my mother, she wound up doing it after me. My best friend wound up doing it, and so many in the surrounding area. As far as Atlanta,
Right.
people have inboxed me with their weight challenges in other states, in other cities, and it's just so encouraging.
Yes.
It's a blessing to me that I'm able to be a blessing to others.
Yeah.
Not so much to lead them into having the operation,
Right.
but to even helping them with just talking them out, talking with them through some weight challenges that they're having. So even people as far as Atlanta, down south, the Carolinas, people have inboxed me and have gone through the procedure and had it done. And, you know, I encourage them, that, you know, and along the way, which is just such a blessing. And then by my articles being out in Central Jersey in this area, it's a blessing that, you know, when I'm walking in the grocery store or Walmart, people stop me and say, hey, you're the man that's in the airport, and you're the man that's in my doctor's office, or you're the man that's in the hospital. And it's just a blessing that I'm able to even minister to people in all different walks of life, not even just the African American, but even to the Caucasians. You know, they recognize me, and it's a blessing. It truly is a blessing.
And you know, Kyle, what I want to say is that I believe that the Lord wanted this to happen for you so that your ministry could expand and that you can be very effective at what you're doing. I mean, it's just amazing. I was showing my roommate a picture of you before, and she looked and she dropped the phone and said, that can't be the same person. I mean, it's a 365-degree change. Can you tell our listeners and viewers, because the book is open, how much did you weigh before you lost the weight? I want them to
315 pounds.
Jesus
I was
God.
315 pounds, and I lost 175 pounds.
Wow.
Yep. So I came down to about 140, and I struggle right now with 5 pounds. So I'm up at like between 140. Yep, and then it happens between 145. Yep, between 145, and I go up and down. You know. Yep, but I've lost 175 pounds. I weigh 140, about 145 pounds now. I weigh. So it's been a drastic change, but for the better.
Yeah, that's just amazing, and they want to scream for you because of that. Hold on.
Oh man!
Now you know we have all the digital technology right here in our studio. That is amazing, man. And I'm telling you, you look just marvelous. I can't stop saying it because you were a nice looking brother, you know, with the weight on. But now I'm sure people stop you and like, look at him. I can't believe it. He could be on the cover of a magazine.
Oh, to God be the glory. To God. I'm just a country boy with a little city grease on me. That's all.
So now let me ask you this. I got you.
I said I'm just a country boy with a little city grease on me. That's all.
I understand that. Before we get back to the music, because I wanted people to understand, you know, on my show you could talk about, you know, anything with your life. I wanted people to understand your journey because it's a great transition for you, and that it's going to continue to open doors for you as you speak and sing all over the country. I just believe it. I wanted to ask you, do you exercise now that you have lost the weight to keep that fit of 45 pounds?
Oh my God, not like I should. Now that is one of my struggles.
Okay.
I do not get in that gym like I should.
Okay.
I really, really, really have to become more disciplined in that area.
Okay.
But no, I have not been disciplined with the gym yet. I do have a membership.
Okay.
But I have not gone consistently. But I guess because I do kind of sometimes. I mean, I watch what I eat. I do have my certain cravings that I get.
Absolutely.
And I'll taste it. I'll taste it, and then I'll leave it alone.
Right.
So that's kind of how I keep my weight down. Also, because I'm still not able to take in as much as four or five bites of food, and I'm full. I'm done.
Wow,
And
that is amazing.
So a lot of times when my wife and I, when we go out to dinner and stuff like that, we order one meal, and I nibble off her plate, and I'm done. And she eats the rest, and that saves money, and it and it works out in my benefit because I'm not able to but just as God and with this surgery, with any surgery, you have to be careful because just as my surgeon, Dr. Nguyen, Earl Nguyen, as my surgeon, he's a Christian doctor too, and that's one thing I love about him. He said, just as God has made the stomach, you have to be careful because it's a muscle and it can stretch back. So you have to be very, very careful with what you eat and the calories and things like that. So
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, man. We wanted our listeners and viewers to understand your journey because you are truly on the path of your assignment and the doors that God is opening for you as a speaker for, the weight loss and the full transition. It's just amazing. Now, let's talk about this single again. Let's go back there real quick, and then we're going to let you go and play the song because they're going to hear it fresh and first right here. Let's talk about where they can purchase it. It's available, and then what's on your schedule far as like singing different places and really trying to push the single. Go ahead and share that information.
I am. I'm not even savvy in those areas. My producer, D. Corey Shipley, he did an awesome job on producing my CD, Church How I Remember. But the single is available on all digital sites, which include CD Baby, Amazon, iTunes, and Spotify. All those digital sites, Google Play, all of those digital sites, you can purchase the single. And I believe it's like 99 cents or something like that.
Right.
But you can purchase it on all digital. And I've had an overwhelming response when I tell you God is so good. And like I always consider, I don't consider myself a great singer, even though I've been singing all my life.
Yeah.
But I've received such an overwhelming because people miss that church sound, and that's what it's about. It's about balancing out. And I want to give a shout out to my church on Grace Cathedral.
Yes.
I tell people oftentimes, you have to have balance in church.
That's it.
Because some of the older saints are still here. You can't get up there and sing, I am a friend of God, and all those new days. You have to learn how to mix and have a balance of the old school and the new school.
That's right.
If you don't have balance in your church, you don't have nothing.
That's right.
You got to have, because then what are the younger people going to, the younger people have to know, some of those old songs, and then when you sing the new songs, the old people will appreciate the new songs. So you have to have a good mix. You got to have a good balance in your Sunday morning worship experience.
Absolutely.
It's imperative. It's important,
Yeah.
and that way both age categories can appreciate each type of music,
Wonderful. Now go ahead and give your social media out because people can contact you on your very nice Facebook page and other information in case people want to follow you and just see what you're doing. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. I'm on Facebook.
Yes.
That's Kyle Sanders on Facebook. That's Kyle Sanders, and I believe on Instagram, my nickname, my church has given me this nickname that I don't care for too much, but Junior Bishop KLS, that's J.R. Bishop KLS, that's Junior Bishop KLS on Instagram.
Wonderful.
Yep.
That's good. Now go ahead and give some shout outs because I know you said hello to your wifey, and go ahead and give some shout outs, man. Go ahead.
Yes, a good shout out to my wife, Monet Sanders, and to my family, my parents, my mama, my daddy, my stepmama, my brothers and sisters, my family, the Sanders and Gaines family, which are full of singers and preachers. Right. I'm just a little chip off the block. Oh my goodness, my family is so anointed and gifted.
Yes.
To my Bishop Jerome S. Wilcox,
yes.
To my former bishop, whom I love and still have a relationship with, Bishop David G. Evans, and my good friend Lonnie Hunter, who's another radio personality.
That's right.
I'm very close to them, yep, my Bethany Baptist Church family, and to all the churches in the surrounding areas in Trenton and South Jersey who support me and love me. And see, I always say, when you give out genuine love,
that's right,
genuine love is returned to you.
Absolutely.
And you know, one thing folks can't beat me doing, and you can't beat me in loving you.
I know that's right.
I love people, and people know, and they reciprocate that, because I love people. And that's one thing my grandfather instilled in me is genuine love.
Yes,
you have to love people.
That's right.
In order to make it to heaven, you got to love people.
And that's true. That's why we're getting ready to play this Heaven's Medley. Ladies and gentlemen,
that's
Minister
right.
Kyle Londell Sanders, what words of encouragement do you want to share to the people real quick, because you are a man of God? Go ahead. I'll give you a few minutes to say something. Go ahead.
I just want to say we definitely have to be encouraged. These are the last and evil days, as we've been hearing for years, but I truly believe these are the last days. And if you're not trying to make heaven your home, I would say, as the old folks used to say, you better get right with God and do it in a hurry.
That's right.
Because even in this next election, we have to be so careful. We have to be saints of God. We have to be prayed up, because we don't know what this world is going to come to, but we believe God is going to work everything out in this next election. So I would just say we got to stand fast and just be encouraged in these last days, because God is soon to return. And that's why I did this Heaven Medley, because we don't even hear songs about heaven no more.
That's right.
We don't even hear songs about heaven no more. How are we going to a place called heaven, and we don't even...
That's right.
Preachers and we don't even teach on it no more.
That's true.
We don't even teach on heaven or hell no more. You know, and I'm so old school, I don't even want to get started on that. But that's why I did this Heaven Medley. So this is songs about heaven, and if you live right,
that's right,
heaven belongs to you.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Minister Kyle L. Sanders, we thank you so much, man. Did you enjoy yourself on the Songbook of Gospel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We thank God for
you.
having
me, man.
No problem. I want you to have a great day. We're getting ready to go to your song now. I just want to tell everybody it's available on Amazon, Google Play, iTunes, CD Baby, Church Now. How I Remember, Church How I Remember, Minister Kyle L. Sanders. Have a great day, Kyle. We're about to play the song for you.
You too now.
All right, bless you. Check it out, family, right here at FM HDMS. Feel the rhythm, feel the flavor, and feel the soul.